I have started a new channel called Lanila Tales. Please subscribe and watch my best stories there. Link is in the description. The bullet entered through Cole's visor and blew out the back of his skull before any of us even touched solid ground. One clean shot. Zero warning. Human weapon. Human ammo. No alien could have made that shot. Which meant someone wanted us dead before the mission even started. Cole's body hit the frozen mud beside me with a sickening thud, and blood sprayed across my helmet. Nadia did not scream. Jax did not shout. Nobody moved. The only thing that spoke was the cracked comm system still hissing with Admiral Serrano's last transmission, the one she sent before our dropship mysteriously crashed on this frozen Dominion hell world of Karsus 12. Retrieve the objective. No matter the cost. No survivors. I stared at Cole's corpse. That shot had been fired from a ridge at least 800 meters away. Perfect precision. No thermal footprint. Whoever pulled that trigger was more ghost than man. On Cole's shattered visor, burned into the cracked glass by a laser, 2 words. Turn back. The mission had changed. 12 soldiers dropped into the combat zone. Now we were 11. And I was already certain we would not all make it back. They call me Captain Elias Kane. Veteran of 6 Dominion Wars. Last survivor of the siege at Vega Prime. I have been shot, stabbed, burned, and crushed. I have pulled shrapnel out of my own chest with a broken knife. I have lost friends so close I still hear their voices in my sleep. None of that scared me. But what I felt now, staring down at Cole's broken body, was not fear. It was something worse. Understanding. Someone down here wanted us to fail. Someone who knew who we were and exactly how we operated. Because Cole had been shot the way a sniper kills an enemy commander. Fast. Surgical. Without warning. Someone who fights like us. Someone trained by us. Someone human. My stomach turned cold. A name whispered through my mind like a curse. The Widowmaker. If that legend was true, we were already dead. Wind howled through the burning wreckage of our dropship behind us, scattering firelight across the snow like falling stars. Nadia Rook stepped forward, boots crunching through frost. Her eyes narrowed as she studied Cole's helmet. She did not flinch when she saw his face. She did not look away. That was why she was my second in command. No panic. No hesitation. Just focus. Jax on the other hand muttered what the hell about 7 different ways in 7 seconds. Harper scanned the perimeter with his rifle, while the twins Vega and Lyra checked the crashed equipment pod. Lyons cursed quietly and checked everyone's ammo. Roderick was silent as always, a mountain of a man with more scars than words. Starling flicked his wrist blades out in agitation. Dr. Milo Hart, our mission scientist, looked like he might pass out. Barlow just stared into the dark where the shot had come from, like he expected death to show itself. Milo finally found his voice. That shot was from a long-distance kinetic rifle. Human-made. No Dominion signature. But there are no friendly forces on this planet. Which means we are not alone. No one laughed. No one breathed. Everyone knew what he was really saying. Someone had betrayed us. And then the world got worse. Our comms unit crackled. A distorted voice bled through, artificial yet painfully human. 12 entered Karsus. Only 1 leaves. Mission is over. Go home or die here. We are watching. The transmission ended with 3 chilling static clicks. That was the Widowmaker's signature. My anger burned cold. We established a perimeter and dragged Cole's body inside a broken titanium wing from the wrecked ship to shelter it from scavengers. Jax muttered that nobody signed up for this, while Vega insisted that this might be some Dominion trick. But I had seen Dominion warfare. They did not use threats. They used annihilation. Nadia walked over to me as I adjusted my rifle. "You think it's him?" she asked quietly. "The Widowmaker." I nodded once. She tightened her grip on her weapon. "Then we are already behind. That bastard kills ahead of schedule." We moved fast. The terrain ahead sloped into a dark valley covered in heavy fog and iron spires of volcanic rock. Somewhere down there was our target. A Dominion stronghold hidden beneath the surface. Our mission was classified at the highest level. Even my clearance only gave me fragments. Retrieve a device codenamed Oracle 7. Eliminate all witnesses. Extraction optional. That last part bothered me. Optional. Command never uses that word. Optional means they do not expect you to make it out alive. We marched in a staggered formation, Harper scouting ahead, Jax and Lyra covering flanks, Roderick rear guard. Milo stayed close to me, clutching his field pack like a child holds a teddy bear. The man was brilliant but softer than civilian bred. I had no idea why Command sent him with us until I saw what he carried locked inside a reinforced biocase. 8 canisters filled with shimmering blue fluid, each marked with a genetic hazard warning. Whatever this mission was really about, it was not just a device, not just a war. Something bigger. Something ugly enough that Command was willing to kill 12 soldiers to keep it secret. We followed frozen trails through jagged cliffs for 2 hours before we saw the first Dominion patrol. 6 bio-soldiers armed with plasma-tooth rifles. Pale exoskin stretched over bone plate. Eyes like dying stars. They were not human and they were not friendly. But they were not our biggest threat. As Harper lined up a silent headshot with his rifle, I saw a shadow flicker behind the Dominion patrol. A human silhouette. Watching us. And then gone. Widowmaker. It had to be. But why follow instead of kill? He could shoot us right now. End mission. So why wait? The question clawed at my thoughts like a hungry animal. Whoever was hunting us had a plan. Something worse than death. We wiped the Dominion patrol in less than 10 seconds. Clean kill, low noise. Standard work. Nadia searched their equipment while Roderick stacked bodies. Harper checked an energy scanner and frowned. Captain, he said, these patrols are not looking for us. They are retreating. Pulling back. Like they are scared. Dominion soldiers did not retreat. Ever. I scanned the ridge lines. Something was wrong. The air itself felt charged like the world knew a secret we did not. Nadia walked beside me. She said what we were both thinking. The Dominion is falling back from this area. The Widowmaker warned us to turn back. And Oracle 7 is ahead of us. Whatever is down there is not an enemy base. It is something worse. By nightfall we made camp beneath a dead metal tree. The moon above was split by orbital debris reflecting like shattered glass. Nobody rested. Nobody trusted sleep. Milo sat shivering by the fire. I watched him. He knew more. He was hiding something. I walked over and crouched beside him. Tell me what is in those canisters, I said. His eyes widened. Fear sweat. His voice shook. I cannot. I am under direct order. I lifted his chin. So am I. And I am ordering you now. He swallowed hard. They are not chemical weapons. They are not fuel. They are not even human. That was when the crack of a rifle echoed again. A scream tore through the night. Another shot fired. And another soldier dropped dead. 11 soldiers came down the mountain. Now we were 10. The Widowmaker had found us. And this time he did not leave a warning. Only a promise. War had begun. We buried Harper at dawn without words, without ceremony, and without the luxury of grief. His helmet still smoked from the sniper blast that passed through it clean, as if the bullet had been made of hate instead of metal. I had served with Harper for 9 years. He survived the siege of Vega Prime, the burning trenches of Helios Gate, and even that insane mission on Titan Colony where enemy mechs outnumbered us 30-1. Harper once claimed nothing could kill him unless it asked politely. Turns out death did not bother asking. Fog crawled between the broken spires of Karsus as we left camp. The night had been long and silent except for the occasional gunshot echoing from the mountains, far off but close enough to remind us we were being hunted. The Widowmaker never slept. He waited, watched, and planned, wearing down his prey one life at a time. I had seen that strategy used in urban warfare, slow kills that broke morale faster than a full assault. But this was different. He was not killing for territory or resources. He was leaving a message. one kill at a time until we shattered. Nadia walked beside me, rifle ready, eyes sharp, jaw tight. She had not said a word since Harper died. She did not need to. The others followed in uneasy silence. Jax muttered curses into his breath, metal jaw tense. Vega and Lyra were jumpy, scanning every ridge and rock like ghosts were hiding in them. Roderick remained silent, his giant frame moving through frost like a tank through mud. Barlow walked behind me, watching our backs, twitchy but reliable. Starling vanished so often I sometimes wondered if he existed at all. And Milo Hart, our assigned scientist, kept his head down, clutching the biocase like his spine depended on it. We moved into a valley that looked like a graveyard for titans. Towers of black volcanic glass rose around us, carved by ancient eruptions and sculpted by alien weather into jagged spears. The fog pooled around them, thick and heavy like wet cement. Visibility dropped to 50 meters. Then 20. Then 10. Nadia whispered that this was a kill zone. She was right. Perfect terrain for a sniper. Perfect terrain for an ambush. Perfect terrain for death. Our motion trackers fuzzed with static. Comms barely worked. Even the sky seemed darker here. Like something had swallowed the sun. Jax kicked a rock out of his path and muttered that we should ditch the mission and go full hunt mode, find the sniper, and end this. I wanted to agree. Every soldier wanted to punch a hole through the bastard who killed Harper and Cole. But the Widowmaker wanted us divided, distracted. We could not give him what he wanted. That is why I told Jax the only thing that kept us alive right now was discipline. He stared at me for a long moment and then nodded once. Message received. Lyra froze suddenly and raised a fist. Movement ahead. We took cover behind shattered stone pillars and aimed weapons downfield. A faint blue shape flickered between the fog. Dominion drones. Scouting class. Unarmed but deadly in numbers. If they detected us, every patrol in the region would close in like sharks to blood. We spread out silently, forming a net. Vega and Barlow took left flank, Lyra and Jax right. Roderick moved ahead to intercept. The floating machines glided forward on silent anti-grav pads. Their lenses scanned air particles, radar frequencies, and thermal readings. One turned our direction. I held my breath. Milo trembled beside me. The drone drifted closer. And closer. 10 meters. 5. 1. I drew a combat knife, leapt out of cover, and hooked its lens in one smooth motion, dragging it down before it could sound an alarm. Roderick smashed the second drone into scrap metal, while Starling appeared from nowhere and sliced the third into ribbons with wrist blade. We destroyed the drones, but one got a signal off before we disabled it. Vega checked his scanner. Dominion patrol incoming. Multiple signatures. Heavy infantry. We had minutes before they hit us. We could not go back and we could not stay. That left one choice. Forward. Fog thickened until shapes blurred like fever dreams. We pushed deeper into the valley until the terrain dipped into a canyon of obsidian cliffs and frozen waterfalls. Strange symbols were carved into the rock walls. Not Dominion. Something older. Something wrong. Nadia ran her hand along the markings. They looked like warnings. The Dominion did not build this place. They found it. And whatever it was used for, the Dominion feared it. We approached a narrow pass that cut through jagged rock. That was when a red dot slid over my chest. Sniper. Down. Everyone dropped in unison as a round screamed through the mist and slammed into the rock behind us, showering shards of obsidian across the ground. Another shot followed, chiseling the earth near Roderick. The Widowmaker had us pinned. Move in bursts, I shouted. 3 seconds at a time. Nadia and Jax returned suppressive fire, though we had no sight on the sniper. He was distant, silent, and perfect. Harper once told me that a true sniper kill was not about accuracy. It was about invisibility. The Widowmaker was invisible. Lyra jerked back as a bullet grazed her armor. We had no cover to advance. We were trapped. Vega tossed a smoke grenade, but the wind shredded it apart uselessly. Milo panicked and bolted right, sprinting across open ground. Idiot move. I tackled him just before a bullet took his head off. He lay on the ground gasping, shaken. I lifted him by his collar. You freeze or you follow orders. Those are your options. Nothing else. He nodded, ashamed, terrified. We needed to move or we would die here. That was when Starling pointed to a narrow fissure in the canyon wall. A crack wide enough for one person at a time. It was a risk. We would be vulnerable moving single file. But staying here meant becoming target practice. I made the call. We sprinted for the fissure while Roderick laid down cover fire with his heavy cannon. For a man who rarely spoke, Roderick had a beautiful way of expressing hatred through ammunition. Bullets tore through the air as we pushed through the gap. It was a tight squeeze. Sharp rock ripped armor plates, but we made it through alive. When Roderick came last, he blocked the gap behind us with a collapsed boulder. We listened for gunfire. Nothing. Silence. We moved ahead through a narrow tunnel that descended deep into the earth. The air grew colder. The walls hummed with some kind of buried power. Milo checked his scanner and frowned. There is a massive energy source ahead. Not Dominion. Unknown frequency. Organic signatures. Large. The corridor opened into a hidden chamber beneath the mountain. None of us could speak at first. Dozens of massive pods lined the ceiling like a suspended hive. Inside each pod was a humanoid shape suspended in glowing blue fluid. Some looked human. Others looked like nightmares. Vega stepped closer and wiped frost from one pod. His eyes widened. This one says experimental biounit. Earth origin. That made no sense. These pods were built using human. We stood frozen in that underground chamber while the truth suffocated us from every direction. Rows of massive glass pods glowed with ghost blue light, each containing something that should not exist. Human forms with alien veins. Dominion creatures with human eyes. Some looked alive. Some looked dead. Some looked like they had never been anything born from nature. The air smelled of old chemicals and metal blood, a scent I had only smelled once before, in a classified bunker beneath Earth Command. I thought that nightmare was over. I was wrong. It had been growing in secret. No one spoke for a long time. Words were too small for the storm tearing through every mind in the squad. Harper died for this. Cole died for this. My men were dead, and Command had lied to us so we would walk into this place blind. Nadia was the first to speak. Her voice was raw and cracked. Project Rebirth was banned years ago. Every lab was ordered shut down and destroyed. Every scientist involved was executed. That was the official story, I said. But someone survived. Someone refused to bury it. Someone brought it back. Milo stepped forward, guilt eating him alive. He admitted that Project Rebirth had only been shut down publicly. The truth was that it was moved off-world to continue secretly. Officially, it never existed. Unofficially, it could change the fate of humanity forever. His words dropped like stones in a silent grave. Jax shoved Milo hard against a pod. You knew what this mission really was, and you kept it from us, he snapped. Milo tried to speak, but Jax slammed him again. Vega stepped between them, but Jax was too far gone, anger twisting his face. How many of us have to die so you can keep your secret science project safe, he roared. Milo stammered that he did not know about the Widowmaker or Command betrayal. He claimed he was only following orders. That was the wrong thing to say. Jax lunged again, but Roderick caught him with one massive hand and pinned him to the wall. Enough, I barked. Anger gets us killed quicker than a bullet. Focus or we die in this hole. Barlow moved toward a console and began connecting his portable decryptor. He had once been a cyber warfare specialist before Command turned him into a field soldier. Within seconds, he broke through the security firewall. He pulled up encrypted mission files. Oracle 7. Project Rebirth. Genetic Vault. I read the mission forensic log entries and felt my stomach drop. Project Rebirth had not been a medical operation. It was a harvest. Thousands of human and Dominion prisoners used for forced genetic fusion. Most died screaming. Some survived. Those became subjects locked in the pods around us. They were waiting, suspended like weapons on a wall, ready to be deployed. The mission was not retrieval. Command wanted us to activate this place. Nadia paced slowly, piecing everything together. So Command sends a squad of elite soldiers to secure a genetic abomination that could end 2 species, hides the real mission, and sends a sniper to kill us if we fail or discover the truth. Makes sense. Nobody laughed. Milo wiped his face with shaking hands and whispered that it got worse. He entered another code into his datapad. The pods were not just storage. They were linked to a transmission beacon. If we activated the system for extraction, it would signal Earth and upload the genetic data straight to Central Biocommand. Humanity would build more. Millions more. An army that could conquer galaxies. Except that was not the real goal. Barlow decrypted a hidden message in the command log. A sentence burned across the screen. Survival requires extinction. Lyra stepped back, sick with what she was reading. It means Command does not want peace. They want to replace humans and Dominion with something stronger. Something new. We stared at the pods. The things inside stared back through icy glass. The deeper I stared, the more I realized something. These things were not asleep. They were aware. Watching us. Trap. Then the lights flickered. A low hum vibrated through the chamber floor. Nadia spun toward the far tunnel. Someone just powered up the facility. I checked the motion tracker. We have company. The Widowmaker was here. He had followed us underground. But how he had been behind us the entire time. Unless he got here first. Unless he wanted us to see this. Before we could move, a high-pitched clicking echoed through the chamber. Dominion scouts. A patrol of 6 emerged from a dark passage, weapons pulsing with violet energy. But they did not attack. They were not here for us. They were scanning the pods. Searching. Vega lowered his weapon in confusion. Dominion troops do not ignore enemies. They do not hesitate. These soldiers were terrified. Their movements frantic. They knew what was inside those pods. They were here to destroy it. One Dominion soldier turned toward us and barked in rough translated monotone. Leave now. You must leave. Roderick stepped forward like a charging wall. Or what he said. The Dominion pointed his weapon not at us, but at the pods. We will destroy this place before you release the sleepers. I froze. Sleepers. I looked again at the pods. Suddenly the blue lights looked more like prison bars. I asked who built this. The Dominion soldier replied in a voice heavy with rage and fear. You humans built it. And you will destroy yourselves with it. Then the Widowmaker made his move. A bullet tore through the Dominion soldier's skull and chaos exploded. Dominion troops opened fire. Barlow dropped behind a console. Vega and Lyra spread out. Jax grabbed Milo and dragged him behind a pod for cover. Roderick returned fire with his heavy rifle, vaporizing one Dominion in a blast of molten limbs. The Widowmaker used the chaos, picking off Dominion and isolating us, forcing us apart. He did not care who died as long as the mission died with us. I scanned the high walkways above the chamber. A glint of metal. A shifting shadow. There. He was moving along the upper platform, ghost silent. I fired 3 rounds toward him. Metal sparked. He vanished again. The Dominion numbers dropped fast. Nadia flanked their last 2 troops and dropped them clean with silent bursts. Smoke cleared. Silence smothered the room again. Then a slow clap echoed from the walkway above. A voice followed, calm and cold. You should have turned back. My blood ran ice. The Widowmaker finally revealed himself. A tall figure in matte black armor stepped out of the shadows, his face hidden, his rifle etched with kill marks. He spoke again. You were not sent here to complete a mission. You were sent here to disappear. Jax aimed at him. Why are you killing us? He shouted. We are on the same side. The Widowmaker leveled his rifle at us. There are no sides anymore. Only survival. And you are standing in the way. I took a step forward. Then Milo collapsed screaming, clutching his shoulder where the Widowmaker's bullet had punched clean through. Blood poured between his fingers and dripped onto the metal floor in a steady rhythm like time running out. He was alive, but barely. Panic rippled through the squad as we dove for cover behind the massive glass pods. Vega dragged Milo behind a console while Lyra tore open a medkit. The chamber lights flickered and sparks rained down from broken cables. The Widowmaker had chosen his battlefield, and we walked right into it. He moved across the catwalk above us in silence, rifle ready, boots barely making a sound. He was hunting. He was patient. He was not just a sniper. He was a strategist. Every soldier in the room felt his presence like a blade on the back of the neck. Nobody moved recklessly. We all knew one wrong step meant death. Roderick opened fire first, sending heavy-caliber rounds screaming toward the catwalk. The Widowmaker vanished in a blur of motion, rolling behind a support beam. Starling leaped to a pillar and began climbing with his wrist blades, moving with inhuman speed. Nadia and Jax flanked left, while Barlow tried to hack into the facility control panel. The Widowmaker spoke again, voice cutting through the chaos. "You cannot save him. Milo Hart will die today. He carries what must never leave this world." Jax roared back, rage boiling. "You want him, come down and get him, you coward." A single shot answered. The bullet grazed Jax's cheek and buried itself in the wall behind him. The Widowmaker never missed entirely. He warned before he killed. Vega pressed a cauterizing patch to Milo's wound. Milo clenched his teeth in agony. "I told you," he said through gasp. "Command does not intend to end this war. They intend to replace it. Replace everything." He grabbed my wrist with his bloody hand. "Kane, listen to me. Oracle 7 is not data. It is a living core. An artificial intelligence grown from genetic code and neural networks. It was built to evolve. To control armies. To control life. It is self-aware." That was when the ground itself trembled beneath us. Something in the chamber had awakened. Roderick barked a warning. "Movement. Topside." Starling reached the catwalk and clashed with the Widowmaker in a burst of metal and fury. Sparks exploded as their weapons collided. Starling fought like a demon, faster and more vicious than any human should be. He slipped under the Widowmaker's defenses and slashed him across the arm. The Widowmaker did not shout or retreat. He simply adapted, disarmed Starling with a brutal twist, and slammed him into the railing. Starling staggered to his feet, but the Widowmaker spun low and kicked him over the edge. Roderick dove and caught Starling by the arm before he fell into a pit of machinery below. His muscles strained as he hauled Starling back to safety. But the Widowmaker did not take advantage of their vulnerability. He aimed at Milo again. Nadia stepped out of cover and fired a burst that forced him back. "Stop," I shouted. "Enough. You want to kill someone, kill me. Leave my team out of this." He paused, rifle still aimed. Then he said something I will never forget. I already did. Confusion flickered through me for half a heartbeat. Then I understood. He fired again. Not at us. At the ceiling. The impact triggered a controlled detonation. The chamber roof collapsed partially and debris crashed down, sealing the main tunnel behind us. Our escape route was gone. Trap. Barlow shouted that he found something in the system. A voice file. He played it through the audio feed. It was Admiral Serrano. "If you are hearing this, Oracle 7 has been breached. Protocol erasure is now active. The Widowmaker has authorization to eliminate all squad members and evidence of Project Rebirth. No survivors. Kane is expendable. The others are liabilities. Do not let them reach Earth. Burn the truth. End transmission." The room went silent. Nobody moved. We were never meant to make it home. Not even me. Rage did not hit me like fire. It hit me like ice. A perfect, cold clarity. The Widowmaker spoke again from the shadows. "Now you understand. I did not betray humanity. Humanity betrayed itself." He stepped into view and lifted his helmet off slowly. The squad froze. My breath left me. It could not be. But it was. The Widowmaker was human. Pale scars carved his face. eyes dark with loss, jaw like carved stone. But the face was one I knew better than my own reflection, because I had seen it every day in the mirror 5 years ago, before they declared him dead, before command erased him, before the galaxy called him a traitor. He was legend, he was myth, and once he was my brother in arms, Ronan Kane, my older brother. Nadia swore under her breath. Jax looked like he had seen a ghost. Lyra and Vega exchanged stunned glances. Roderick tensed for battle. Milo stared like he had stepped into a nightmare. Ronan rested his rifle on his shoulder and walked down the stairs to the chamber floor. He looked me in the eyes. "Elias," he said, "you should not have come here." I could barely speak. "They said you died on Vega Prime." He nodded. "They needed a hero to die so they could build a monster to take his place." He glanced at the pods. "When I learned what they were planning, I tried to expose them. They hunted me, framed me, buried me." He gestured around us. "So I built my own war. And now you have walked right into the worst part of it." A low mechanical hum rose in the walls. Something was happening. The pods began to open. Frozen blue liquid drained. Glass panels hissed and released. Figures stirred inside. Some screamed. Some growled. Some just opened eyes that glowed with cold intelligence. Milo yelled that someone triggered a revival sequence. Barlow shouted that it was on a remote timer set to activate no matter what. This place was never meant to be shut down. It was meant to begin now. Ronan tightened his grip on his weapon. "Then we end it here." Roderick charged forward and kicked over a cryopod. The monstrosity inside spilled onto the floor, half human, half something else, screaming without lungs. Jax shot another pod before it opened fully. Vega grabbed a flamethrower from his pack and burned 3 more. But more kept waking. Too many. One of the biomutants charged me. Its jaw unhinged like a serpent. I emptied a magazine into its skull before it stopped moving. The room exploded in chaos as the things swarmed. They were fast, strong. Mindless rage wrapped in muscle. I saw Lyra go down beneath one before Starling ripped it off her. Roderick ripped arms from torsos. Nadia shot precision bursts, never missing a kill. Jax fought with pure fury. Blood sprayed. Metal screamed. And still they kept coming. Ronan fought beside me, the two of us moving in brutal sync the way we had years ago. No time for anger. No time for questions. Only survival. He killed with machine precision, rifle and blade flowing together like a storm. Between kills he shouted to me. "You think this is war, Elias? This is breeding. Evolution by force. Earth will unleash this across the stars. You cannot negotiate with extinction. You stop it or you join it." The detonator in Ronan's hand beeped once, then powered down. The charge lights went dark. Somehow, impossibly, the explosive had been disarmed. Ronan stared at it in disbelief, then slammed it against the console again, as if raw fury would force it to work. It did not. A cold voice echoed through the chamber, amplified by the facility speakers. Someone far away was watching us. That was predictable, Captain Kane. The voice did not belong to an alien. It was human, refined, calculated, confident. Admiral Serrano, our commanding officer. The woman who gave us our orders. The one who said no survivors. You were never sent to retrieve Oracle 7. You were sent to activate it, the voice continued. And you have done exactly as planned. Oracle 7 is now awake. The giant pod at the center of the chamber pulsed with deep blue light like a beating heart. Cracks spread across its glass, slow and deliberate, as if whatever was inside was deciding when to emerge. A low vibration hummed through the floor. Milo staggered forward, bloodied, staring at the pod with horror. "Oracle 7 is not a weapon," he said, voice shaking. "It is a mind." Serrano's voice returned, venom wrapped in silk. "It is the next step. The only path forward. Humanity cannot win this war with muscle or bullets or courage. Evolution requires sacrifice. You, Captain Kane, were chosen because you understand necessary sacrifice. I clenched my rifle so hard the metal creaked. You sacrificed Harper. Cole. You sent a kill squad after your own soldiers. For this. For a machine. Not a machine, Serrano replied. A new order. One leader. One command. No more war. No more weak hearts. Oracle 7 will unite humankind by force if it must. And with Dominion genetics it will survive anything. She paused as if smiling. Once our future soldiers are grown, they will spread across the stars. Humanity will reign eternal. Ronan hurled the dead explosive to the ground. You are insane. You will destroy everything. Serrano ignored him. The Widowmaker, humanity's greatest ghost. I am pleased you survived long enough to serve your final purpose. You delayed Project Rebirth for years, but even you were just another variable. A predictable one. Ronan lifted his rifle, fury shaking his voice. You created me. You created what I became. I was your loyal soldier. Then you made me a monster. Serrano said nothing. She did not need to. In her silence was confession. The situation turned worse. The pods around us continued to open. At least 20 more hybrid abominations slammed free of their containment glass and charged. They were learning. Moving smarter. Faster. Working together like a hunting pack. We formed a defensive circle around Milo and Barlow, who were desperately trying to hack the control system before Oracle 7 fully awakened. Roderick braced himself at the front, firing his heavy cannon until it burned red. Jax fought like a man possessed, screaming with each shot, emptying magazines into nightmares that would not stay dead. Vega used fire, burning anything that moved until blackened bones cracked. Lyra fought with cold precision beside Nadia, two deadly minds working as one. Starling vanished and reappeared, carving through tendons and throats with mechanical efficiency. Ronan fought back-to-back with me again, just like before, when war still made sense. He snapped necks, stabbed skulls, shot chests, and moved on without hesitation. Survival was a language we both spoke fluently. Between bursts of gunfire, Barlow shouted desperately from behind a shattered terminal. The facility is running a forced uplink. There is a failsafe. Once Oracle 7 fully boots, every military satellite in range will receive the genetic activation signal. They will start producing an army. Milo looked sick. Satellite foundries, he said. Automated war factories. If they go active, every Dominion world nearby will be wiped out. Every colony in contested space too. Billions dead in minutes. Then shut it down, I yelled. Barlow slammed his fist into the panel. I cannot. It needs biometric command clearance. Whose clearance? I shouted back. He glanced up at me. Yours. My blood froze. I knew what that meant. Serrano had tied the mission to my DNA clearance. The mission could not end without me. Either I finished it or I died with it. Serrano had never expected me to walk away alive. My death was part of her strategy. Give me access, I said, stepping toward Barlow. Ronan grabbed my arm. Elias, no. She wants you to do this. She wants you to shut it down here so she can preserve the data from remote servers. You think this ends with one explosion. It does not. This system has backups across 12 black file facilities. Even if you die today, Project Rebirth lives. It spreads. It waits. It becomes legend. Then someone else finishes what she started. He was right. Killing this place would not kill the idea. Humanity would try again. And again. Because war was in our bones. Then what do we do? I said. Ronan pointed at the massive pod. We do not destroy the core. We take it. We turn it against them. Before I could argue, the chamber wall exploded inward with a blast of lavender energy. Shards of metal flew like shrapnel. A massive armored Dominion warrior stepped in, surrounded by a full strike unit. Their leader's armor shimmered with bioplasma and red tattoos carved across its chest. It did not aim at us. It aimed at the pod. With a roar, the Dominion opened fire on Oracle 7. The blast rocked the base. The giant pod cracked open at last. Blue liquid spilled across the ground. Something moved inside, slow and powerful, like a god waking from a grave. The shape stepped forward and the chamber lights dimmed. It was tall. Taller than Ronan. Its skin was dark alloy and organic sinew fused together. Its eyes glowed a deep, thoughtful blue. It was perfect. Designed. Awful. Oracle 7 spoke its first words, calm as the sky before war. I am awake. The Dominion leader screamed a battle cry and charged. Oracle 7 moved faster than sight. One strike. The Dominion commander fell in two perfect halves. The hybrids froze. Even the Widowmaker hesitated. Oracle 7 turned its gaze toward me. It studied me. Then it looked at the Dominion, then at the abominations from the pods. It was thinking. Milo whispered in terror. It is analyzing us. Learning. Oracle 7 looked at us all and said the last thing I wanted to hear. I choose life. But evolution demands a decision. One species must fall so another may rise. Nadia lifted her gun. Which one? Oracle 7 looked up at the ceiling toward the stars. That is for me to decide. Then it vanished in a pulse of blue light. Barlow stared at the console. It just jumped into orbit through a quantum uplink. It is heading for Earth. Ronan turned to me, voice quiet and final. This is no longer a mission. It is war for the future. Between him and Serrano, between Earth and the Dominion, between truth and survival, I understood the cost. The future would not be saved. It would be chosen. And tonight we would choose who deserved tomorrow. The chamber was falling apart around us. Smoke choked the air. Sparks rained from shredded cables. The hybrids thrashed in rage while the Dominion shock troopers fought them in a savage melee. But none of that mattered anymore. Oracle 7 was gone, uploaded into orbit and heading for Earth. If it reached planetary command, it would seize control of every military system on the planet. It would trigger Project Rebirth, forcing evolution by extermination. It would decide which species deserved to survive and which would be reduced to ash. We had one chance to stop it. Barlow pulled schematics from the damaged console and shouted over the chaos. There is a Dominion uplink spire on the far ridge. If we reach it, we can piggyback a signal to jam Oracle 7's transmission before it merges with Earth Command. But the only way to shut down its core permanently is a direct strike in orbit. Then we get to orbit, I said. Jax gave a bitter laugh. And how exactly do we do that? Captain asked nicely for a spaceship. Roderick pointed to the eastern rock wall, where a hangar door rested behind layers of debris. That facility belonged to the Dominion once. There will be ship. He was right. There was a way off this cursed planet. But first we had to survive long enough to reach it. The Dominion commander lay dead in two halves. His troops had lost leadership but not purpose. They turned their fury on us now. Roderick took several plasma bolts to the chest and roared as he returned fire, his armor burning. Vega hurled another stream of flame, clearing a path to the exit tunnel. Lyra dragged Milo up by his harness while he tried to hold pressure over his wound. Nadia and Starling watched our back. Ronan moved beside me, silent and lethal. We moved. Fast. No time to bury the dead. No time to look back. We left the abomination pods, the ghosts of Project Rebirth, and the lies of Earth Command behind us. Outside the facility, the sky over Karsus 12 had turned blood red. The air trembled with the roar of distant artillery. Dominion ships streaked through the sky like burning knives. The planet was being evacuated or destroyed, I could not tell which. Rock spires shattered under orbital strikes. Ice cracked in molten rivers. The planet was dying. The path to the uplink spire cut across a frozen valley where jagged metal bones of an ancient battlefield jutted from the ground. Half-buried mechs, collapsed gun towers, frozen corpses impaled on steel. The war had not begun here. It had ended here long ago. We ran through shifting fog, ducking between wrecks while enemy sensors swept overhead. Ronan spoke without looking at me. Once we reach orbit, you and I finish this. I asked him what he meant. He finally met my eyes. We kill Oracle 7. Even if it means destroying Earth. I stopped running for half a heartbeat. He did not stop. He did not look back. 2 years ago Ronan Kane died a decorated soldier and a hero. Now he was alive again, and he was willing to burn humanity to save it. We reached the base of the uplink spire, a black tower of alien steel clawing its way into the sky. Energy storms circled its peak like a crown of lightning. We needed to reach the top. That meant climbing through exposed scaffolding and frozen maintenance ladders while Dominion drones hunted anything that moved. We started climbing. Roderick went first, carrying 2 rifles and a flamethrower like they weighed nothing. Jax and Vega followed. Lyra climbed behind Milo, guiding his hands as blood dripped from his shoulder. Starling vanished into the metal shadows above. Nadia stayed near me. Ronan did not slow. He climbed like a man who no longer feared the fall. Halfway up the spire a horde of Dominion drones swarmed us. Sleek metal beasts with saw-blade wings and plasma teeth. They shrieked as they dove. Bullets tore the sky. I shot one through the core and it exploded beside me, searing my face. Another sliced across Roderick's back. He grunted, peeled it off with one hand, and snapped it in half. Jax lost his grip when a drone slashed his leg. He fell, but Vega caught him with one arm while firing upward with the other. Lyra shielded Milo with her body. Nadia climbed faster than I had ever seen her move, dodging between drone strikes with surgical precision. Ronan ripped one apart in midair, then used its corpse as a shield against another. We reached a platform near the summit and huddled behind a shield relay. Barlow connected his data pad to the uplink controls and began hacking. Milo collapsed against a wall, pale and shaking. Roderick tied off his arm so he would not bleed out. Jax reloaded. Lyra stitched a gash on her thigh. Vega was breathing hard but alive. We were all bruised and half broken, but still here. Barlow cursed and pounded the console. Encryption barrier. I need more time. Ronan scanned the sky. You do not have time. They are coming. The Dominion drones were regrouping for another strike. The next wave would be worse. Ronan pointed at a dormant artillery cannon halfway down the platform. If we can power that cannon, we can open the hangar door across the valley. That is our ship. Then go, I told him. He shook his head. You go. I will hold them off. We are not splitting up again, I snapped. He looked at me, jaw tight. You are not the only Kane who makes sacrifices. He turned toward the stairs. For a heartbeat, I saw the man he used to be. My brother. Loyal. Unbreakable. Then he was gone, sprinting into battle. Barlow finished the hack and uploaded a signal burst. Oracle 7 is blocked from merging with Earth Command. But only for 90 minutes. After that, the failsafe reset. It will go through. We had 90 minutes to get off this planet, get to orbit, and kill something designed to be unkillable. Ronan ignited the artillery cannon. Its engines screamed as it powered up. He aimed at the distant hangar embedded in the mountainside. The metal doors split open in a thunderblast. Inside was a Dominion battleship, scarred, but flight-ready. He leaned into his calm Elias. It is now or never. I gave the order. Move. We sprinted. Down the spire. Across the valley. Under falling fire. Past the corpses of 2 armies. The ground shook with explosions. The sky tore itself apart. Every step was agony. Every breath tasted of ash. But forward was the only direction left. We reached the hangar and sealed the doors behind us. The Dominion ship loomed over us like a metal beast waiting to wake. Barlow ran diagnostics. Milo limped to the engine bay. Vega powered external shields. Roderick loaded ammunition. Lyra took navigation. Nadia reached the command chair and nodded. Ready. I looked around. We were fewer now. Too few. But enough. Ronan stood apart from the rest of us near the viewport. He stared at the storm raging outside, lost in thoughts I could not read. I walked to him. This is not over, I said. He nodded once. It ends tonight. The engines roared to life. Metal screamed as we lifted from the ground. Carsus 12 fell away beneath us like a dying world sinking into darkness. The stars opened above, and somewhere in that blackness, Oracle 7 waited. I sat in the pilot seat and took control. The ship broke orbit. War awaited. The future was no longer something we would inherit. It was something we would fight for, and I would burn heaven and hell to decide who deserved tomorrow.